Knights of the Air, published by Avalon Hill in 1987. Designer Mick Uhl, artist Joe DeMarco. Has a BGG rating of 6.1 and a complexity weight of 3.48. So guys, let's take a look at this Knights of the Air. This is the box cover. Beautiful art, by the way. I love this. Very evocative. Dogfight, obviously. Take a look at the back of the box. It's got some of the maneuver cards, samples of some counters, section of the map. Complexity is medium. Solitaire suitability, they rank as high. Now there are some solitaire scenarios in the game. We're going to get a 22 by 32 full color game board depicting a section of the trench lines of the Western Front. Actual battlefield photographs were consulted during the construction and painting of this, and apparently it's the section of the trenches where the Red Baron was shot down. Now, this game covers the last 15 months of World War I, and the aircraft in this game represent the aircraft that would have been available during the last 15 months. Also, because of limited components, the most you can field are 3v3, which is fine. That's more than enough for a game like this. It does come with 6 maneuver decks, and we'll look at those in a minute. It comes with some performance cards for the aircraft, 3 6-sided dice, and this game can be played between 2 to 6 players. This would probably be a fun 6-player game. And can average between a half hour to 2.5 hours per dogfight. You can see part of the map. We're going to look at this in a little more detail, but oh my God, this is literally a gorgeous freaking map. So here's our rule book. Your standard old school Avalon Hill rule book. Black with maybe 1 accent color, 2 columns, easy to read. No other colors. A few examples, mostly text. This is in very good condition, this particular one. Now these are 2 inserts. I'm not taking them out. They're basically the same. These are for players to use during the game. Got some damage tables and, your player aids. Talks about the various maneuvers. And we'll look at some of those cards here in a second. And I gotta tell you, it's got a lot packed into this game. Optional rules. How many times do you see an optional rule? Potential kinetic energy exchange. There's an optional rule for you. Come on. But it says the law of energy mechanics, blah, 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 blah. So you're gonna learn something if you play this game. You got reaction distance, changing the machine gun scope in a dive or a climb. Altitude loss when banking, interesting, and extended gunfire. These are some hardcore additional or optional rules. You can create your own scenarios. So it's got examples of how to do that. And then here you go, campaigns. Narrative style game. It existed back in 1987. I don't know if there were some earlier, but here you go. It talks about how you get experience and how that affects you when you're playing the game with your skills with your pilots. That, to me, is very interesting. So it talks how to run through a campaign. And again, you got some solitary scenarios and some details on balloon bursting. Oh, let me roll this over. And fighting a Zeppelin. That's kind of cool. 2 aircraft scenarios. Richthofen versus Brown. Reconnaissance mission, bombing mission, trench strafing, multi-aircraft dogfights, Gotha bombing mission. So there's quite a bit in here when it comes to what you get with this game. Dogfighting, 6-player game, solo, campaign, narrative style game. Very cool. So up here I have one of the maneuver decks. Now there are 6 of these and they all have different colored backs. So you have things like zoom, retortment, right turn. Now I'm not sure how these are used yet. I haven't played the game. Half turn, falling leaf, You get the idea. Now, I did read somewhere in the rules that depending on your pilot skill and which aircraft you have, you will take some of these maneuvers out because your aircraft can't do them or your pilot can't do them, and you'll be left with a handful of maneuvers that you can do. Here's a look at the counters. Now, if you watch any of my shorts, you know I love that matte finish on these counters. Other than that, there's nothing too inspiring about these. I mean, the colors are fine. I'm sure they're functional. Yeah. These are your sets for your various, these match so there's actually what, 8 of these colors? 6 of them, the blue, the green, the yellow, orange, red, and brown. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, those match your card backs for your maneuver decks. And so those you would use if you were, say, the yellow player. You would have the yellow maneuver deck and the yellow counters here. These are for your additional turns you're making, or, you know, when you're plotting. These are just random counters, literally counters. And there's no back. Well, there's a backside. There's just nothing printed on it. So, again, not ugly, not gorgeous, functional, will work. Now, here are your aircraft cards. And I have not pulled these apart, but you'll notice, and I've got Cabby here with me. I don't have Shabby, she passed away a few months ago. Anyway, okay, so what do we have? We got our aircraft, and these are the aircraft cards. And there's quite a few of them. Again, these are going to be the aircraft which were available in the last 15 months of the war. I'll probably go down to Office Depot and get these photocopied. Nice color. And you're going to track what you're doing. There's those. There's a whole mess more here. Again, lots of these, as you can tell. They are double-sided. And more. So you get quite a selection of aircraft to play with, which is pretty nice. So there you go. Our counters, rule book, and now the map. I'm going to just zoom down on this, guys, so you can see. Look at how gorgeous that is. I'm not going to lie. When I opened the box and saw this, I was extremely impressed. This is a high quality map. It's got a matte finish to it, smooth. It is mounted. And as you can see, beautiful. So there we go, guys. That's your look back. Let me pull this up, excuse me. Knights of the Air, Avalon Hill, 1987. As always, I appreciate you taking time to check out what I do here on the channel. If you like this video, if you like the content on the channel, please like, comment, and subscribe. I would appreciate it. And until the next one, goodbye for now.